Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to week number 2 of the NFL season. Week number 2 is officially here. Yes, it is flying by the season so far. We are already at Wednesday, which means we have NFL predictions for you guys. But first, if you are new to the channel, you already know what to do. Leave a like, subscribe, turn that bell on as we do our best to post on this channel every single day. Really quickly, before we hop into the video, Anthony Rizzo from the Cubs has officially announced his retirement. He will be retiring from the MLB. Great career for Anthony Rizzo. I wish him nothing but the best. He had a heck of a year with the Chicago Cubs this season, and I cannot wait to see what the Cubs do in the playoffs because they are probably going to make it and be a wild card team. They're going to be a sneaky good team to watch in the wild card this season, which playoff baseball is almost here. However, we have some NFL predictions to predict. We are going to obviously talk about the games. I'm going to predict each one, go down the list. Obviously, hit that sub button, leave a comment down below though so you don't miss out on any of the latest videos. And without further ado, let us go ahead and hop right into these NFL week number 2 predictions because the season is rolling by fast. Let's go ahead and hop into it. All right, kicking us off on Thursday night, we have a banger of a game to get us going this week. That is Washington going into Green Bay. Green Bay played a heck of a game on Sunday against, of course, the Detroit Lions. Micah Parsons only played a couple of snaps, but was impactful. That defense for the Packers is going to be really good, and I think that's why the Packers are going to win this game. Jayden Daniels, his inexperience so far against really good defenses is going to kind of hold him back against this Packers team, right? This offense for the Packers also looked really good in that week 1 performance against Detroit. Matthew Golden was on fire. Obviously, Christian Watson was on fire as well. So a lot to like about this Green Bay squad. They're going to be a legit contender in the NFL this season. And I think that the Packers win this game to move on to 2-0 against the Washington Commanders. Moving on to the first Sunday game of the day, the afternoon slate, we got the 49ers going into New Orleans. George Kittle officially ruled out for this game, and of course that is going to hurt the offense so much. However, the 49ers tight end that came in replace of George Kittle this past week is really good. I'm expecting him to be a huge impact in this game, along with Christian McCaffrey. Christian McCaffrey got a lot of the load in that matchup in week number 1 against the Seahawks. The defense is going to have to come up huge, though, against Spencer Rattler and this New Orleans Saints offense. I thought the offense for New Orleans looked really good in that first half of play against the Cardinals. It was a little bit iffy at times, but if they can translate that to the full game against the 49ers, then they will have a chance. However, I think the 49ers defense comes up clutch, and I think that the 49ers win this matchup against the New Orleans Saints on the road in the Dome. Moving on to our next matchup here on Sunday, we got the Giants going into the Cowboys. The Giants falling to the Washington Commanders on the road in week number 1, where Russell Wilson did not throw a touchdown pass in that game at all. Struggled on the offensive side of the ball. It's only a matter of time until Jackson Dart comes in the game for the New York Giants and shows them why they should have drafted him in the first round. Now, I don't think that's against this game because Daboll did say that Russell Wilson is going to start for, of course, the New York Giants. Dallas, on the other hand, a close loss to Philly in that game. In the opening kickoff game, Jalen Carter did get hurt, yes, but as long as CeeDee Lamb catches those 2 balls, then we would have won that game. However, Dallas should be able to win this game. It's at home for them. It's their home opener. A lot to like about this Dallas squad with George Pickens, obviously, can catch the ball. And then Javonte Williams, the running back for the Cowboys, turned on the Jets in that matchup against the Eagles. If he can do that in this game against the Giants, then the Cowboys should have no issues at home as the Cowboys will, of course, move on to 1-1 on the season. Moving on, we got Carolina going into Arizona. This is a must-win for Carolina if they would like to be in that discussion to make the playoffs. I think this one is one of the biggest games of the season so far for the Panthers because it's going to show a lot if Bryce Young can bounce back after his terrible performance in week number 1. Maybe it was just game 1 jitters. We shall see. But the Cardinals defense is not that good, and they allowed New Orleans last week to score some points on them that should not have happened. If Bryce Young can take advantage of that, Panthers will win this game. Give me Carolina to walk into Arizona and upset the Cardinals in that matchup. Up next, we have Jacksonville going into Cincinnati. Cincinnati escaping Cleveland on the road with a W in the Battle of Ohio. Travis Etienne running all over the Carolina Panthers in that Game 1 matchup for, of course, the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think T-Law has to get the ball to his weapons like Brian Thomas Jr., Travis Etienne. They just traded away Tate Bigsby, so he is no longer on the team with the Eagles instead. But that doesn't mean that Trevor Lawrence can't distribute the ball to his playmakers. However, on the Bengals side of things, Ja'Marr Chase, T. Higgins, Joe Burrow, still a really good squad and a really good squad to be considered a Super Bowl champion for sure. I think in this game, it's going to be about the Bengals defense. I think both offenses are going to be really good, but I think the Bengals are going to get the win thanks to Trey Hendrickson, and he will prove why he should be paid as one of the better defenders in the league. Give me the Bengals to walk out at home against the Jags. Moving on, we got another NFC North matchup for the Lions here. Chicago going into Detroit, a fun one. Both teams started off 0-1. This is going to be a good one to keep an eye on as well. See how Caleb Williams bounce back. We'll see how Dan Campbell can bounce back as well. I think the Bears walk into Detroit and beat them. I don't think with the offense of performance that they had in week 1 for Detroit is going to I don't think that they are going to do anything offensively again against the Chicago Bears defense. They revamped the defensive line. They should be really good. I'm expecting Caleb Williams to have a bounce back game against this defense, but Aiden Hutchinson will be a problem as it's going to be a low scoring game, but Chicago is going to get the job done on the road in Detroit. Next game up, of course, we have LA going into Tennessee. This is going to be another really interesting matchup. See if Cam Ward can bounce back against his game last week where he did struggle. Los Angeles, it's going to be about, can Matthew Stafford keep going? Can that offense keep getting points, and can they keep up with this high-powered Tennessee offense? I thought that the offense for Tennessee looked really good in that first week against Denver. Now, the scoreboard doesn't show it, but if Cam Ward's receivers would have caught the ball, that offense would have made a bunch of plays. I think that they get it together this week, and I think that they will beat Los Angeles at home in that matchup, so give me the Titans in that one. Patriots at Dolphins, give me the Patriots in this one. The Dolphins looked like absolute crap against their matchup against Indianapolis. I think that Drake May will bounce back. They had a close loss against the Raiders and Ashton Jeanty in week 1. Give me the Patriots, though. Drake May will find his footing, and they will move on to 1-0 on the year. Bills at Jets. This is going to be a fun one, guys. Obviously, Justin Fields and the Jets falling to Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers in week number 1. So I'm very interested to see how that defense for the Bills, or for the Jets, is going to contain that Bills offense and contain Josh Allen. I don't think they do. I think it's going to be a very high-powered offense. This should be a very interesting game, though. I think the Bills win this one on the road in New York. They should get the job done. Up next, we got Seattle going into Pittsburgh. Going to be another fun one. Give me Pittsburgh here. Seattle, they struggled in that week 1 loss to San Francisco. Obviously, Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers do look like they're going to be a threat in the AFC North. I'm taking the Steelers at home in that matchup against the Seattle Seahawks. Browns going into Baltimore. This is going to be another fun one. A couple 0-1 teams. This is going to be an offensive-powered game at its finest. However, I think that the Baltimore Ravens do win this matchup because of Zay Flowers and Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry. The offensive core for them is just so much better than Cleveland, and they should be able to get the job done. Broncos going in the Colts. Give me the Broncos here in this one. I know Danny Dimes looked elite in that first game against the Miami Dolphins. We'll see how that can translate into this week against the Denver Broncos. I don't think it does. I think the Broncos defense is just too good for them, and I think that they will move on to 2-0 on the year. Super Bowl rematch, game of the weekend, if you are asking me. Eagles going into Kansas City. This should be a very interesting matchup. Kansas City falling to, of course, Los Angeles in week 1. They've had some time to recover. Jalen Hurts and the Eagles beating the Dallas Cowboys off of a drop by CeeDee Lamb, obviously. So they got lucky in that one. Going to be a real test for both of these squads. If Jalen Carter is in the game, the Eagles are going to win this matchup. I just think that the Chiefs' offense is not what it used to be, and I think that they will not be able to keep up with this high-powered Philadelphia Eagles offense with Saquon Barkley, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, all of those guys, and be able to win the ball game. Give me the Philadelphia Eagles on the road in Kansas City. Sunday Night Football, we got the Falcons, we got the Vikings. This is going to be a fun one here. Obviously, Kirk Cousins isn't playing or isn't starting in this game, but Michael Penix Jr. looks to be a legit guy for the Atlanta Falcons. I just think that the Vikings defense is going to be what prevails them in this game. If JJ and Jettas get the ball, or if he gets the ball to Jettas, then the Minnesota Vikings offense is going to help them win this game a lot, as they will get the job done at home against the Falcons. And to close us out, 2 Monday Night Football games. We got the Bucs going into the Texans, and we have the Chargers going into the Raiders. Give me the Chargers and the Raiders matchup because of how more experienced their offense is compared to Las Vegas's, right? That's going to be a fun one there. Then we have Tampa versus, obviously, Houston. Houston coming off a loss to the LA Rams. Now, Tampa coming off of a great win in Atlanta to start the year off. This is going to be a fun one. C.J. Stroud, Baker Mayfield, both offenses are elite. Emeka Egbuka is going to have a huge impact, I believe, on this game for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. C.J. Stroud's got to get the ball to his receivers if they want to win this matchup. I think he does, and the Texans will bounce back at home against the Bucs. However, you guys, let me know your thoughts on all of these predictions in the comments down below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, turn that bell on as we do our best to post on this channel every single day. Tomorrow, we will have Big Ten reactions and predictions along with our Road to Glory, so stay tuned for that. And then Friday, we'll have SEC reactions and predictions along with our Vanderbilt Dynasty, so stay tuned for those videos. Hit that sub button, leave a comment down below so you don't miss out on any of the latest videos. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.